Hello, and welcome to Have a Go Heroes Reign of Olympus campaign. Before we introduce the players, I thought we would do the raffle, as announced, for the lovely pretty dice box, because it's so beautiful and so nice. And thanks to you guys, we raised, I think it was £203 in the end for Calm, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably. They're an amazing charity. They work to prevent male suicide. So if you still want to donate to them, which I hope you do, please go on their website. It's called thecalmzone.net. You can still donate. Even though this raffle's over, they still appreciate any donations, big or small, that you can give. But yeah, thank you to everybody that did donate. On that note, where is it? Ping! There we are. We have a list of all of the people that donated that didn't anonymously donate. Thank you if you were one of the anonymous donors, but sadly I can't enter you into the raffle because I don't know who you are. So I'm guessing that was your intention and you just wanted to donate, which is amazing. Thank you so much. But for those of you that did want to enter for the prize draw, you should see your name there. But yeah, just show you it's all fair. I thought we'd do the draw on stream. I couldn't find a really nice drum rolly kind of piece of software, so instead it's just going to be really anticlimactic. But yeah, without further ado, I've got the players drum rolling in my ears for me now. And the winner of the dice tray is Broken. Okay, Lottie Henderson. There we go. So well done, Lottie. Woo! If you're not watching right now, which I'll feel a little bit insulted, but we will announce it on our social media as well, so you know that you've won. I know Lottie, she's absolutely lovely and well deserved of it, so well done, Lottie. I'll send your new Purple Heart Dice Vault on the way to you as soon as I get in contact with you to let you know you've won. Without further ado, I am gonna play the opening screen, and then we'll introduce the players, who are just swearing at you right now, Lottie. They're being... Whoa. Well, that's... You don't even know her mother! Oh, jeez. There we are. They can actually hear you now, guys. Oh, wow.
We won't actually say anything. I promise. I promise.
They weren't until I said they were saying something, and then Dan decided to come out with something I won't repeat.
To incriminate himself.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I wouldn't do that. What are you on about?
Lies. Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, then we will get into the actual game for this week. Quick recap. I've asked you guys to do it before, and you're rubbish at it, so I'll just quickly recap.
Harsh.
True.
Watch back and tell me it's not true.
I tried.
That's what I thought. Oh, see, it was so bad we even lost a Ken. It's fine. He will fix that eventually. Hey, there he is. He's back already. So yeah, last episode you spent most of the session, once you'd finished the mission of investigating the bathhouse, exploring Thebes. You had a good old time. You split the party a little bit, while Mercy went off to do some stuff at the mausoleum. She needed some time to herself, which I don't blame her with this lot. They found a small tree, which Alma then planted later. Kind of more of a relocation than a new planting, I guess. It was just like...
I gave it a chance to live elsewhere better. That's all that matters.
Rather than,
Tree holiday.
Okay. It's going to be one of those kind of episodes. But yeah, they met a lot of NPCs, including some... a gnome woman, who I don't think anybody likes or remembers much. Definitely haven't heard about her since. You managed to identify the magical items you found. You even managed to sell one of them and make a little bit of money on it.
Shut up!
You then met up again, went to find somewhere to eat, and ended up partying on a Viking ship turned restaurant. like they do at the docks, but a little more Norse, with some Scottish Vikings, because I can't do Norscan accents. And Runt won an arm wrestle, which I think, as well as some other actions, also won in favour of the gods. So yeah, Runt has favour of the gods this episode. Thought it'd be good to remind him at the beginning of the episode, because if you don't remind people, then they just don't bother using it.
Hint, hint, wink, wink,
Throwing
nudge,
some
nudge.
shade.
Yeah, I'm just throwing all the unwarranted shade today. I don't know why. I think it's because I couldn't win the dice vault, and I've got to get rid of it now.
Aw, sad
Oh, just buy one for yourself.
It's $75, you know.
Make one.
But yeah, you finally then left Thebes. You met up with a Furbolg family who agreed to take you to Delphi on the cart. You decided to go to Delphi because Alma wanted to go there, and you thought that it might also be good for Mercy to see the Oracle and find out more about her mysterious past. I don't know if they told Mercy this was the reason, but that's what the rest of the group decided.
Just about did, I think, in vague terms.
Well, she seems to be along for the ride, either way. So yeah, you met... Cyril, that was it. I'm glad you remember. I have got it written down somewhere, but, I'm planning on killing them soon. I mean, what?
We do such a terrible job.
No, you did a good job. You managed to journey along the way without any real issue, and you ended up in a town called Typhlos, where you were greeted by Dimitri, who's the head of the town, and Dimitri, yes, that one I do remember, and I have written down for you. It's spelt how it sounds, so Dimitri. And you also met RL and Lana, who were a couple that lived in the town, who offered to let you stay with them for the duration. Once you were behind closed doors in their home, they seemed to panic, and through very little coercing, they told you that you had to get out because the children were in danger. They had the children captive, and they told you to run as fast as you could. They then mentioned the name they'd only heard in passing of Polyphemus, and at that point, there was a knock at the door, and that's where we last left off. Okay, so without further ado, we will get into the game. So, yep.
Right.
Hello?
Okay, so there's a knock. No. Right, I'm just going to lob my stuff at Gavriel, and I'm going to turn myself into a dog.
Okay, you can do that. That's it. Mark off one of your wild shapes, so you now have two little dogs with similar markings. One's got grey tufts of fur, and the other one is Birch, who is currently biting his back end. He may have picked up a flea on the way. But yeah.
Wow, that's going to be news to everyone.
Hello?
Maybe the people who live here should get a little nudge towards answering the door and that it's okay now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, what are they up to?
Okay, yeah, yes, of course. And RL kind of tries and compose himself and opens the door, and standing there it's Dimitri again. It's like, oh, hello. So sorry, we just wondered if you'd got settled, and we just wondered if you wanted to have anything to eat.
Can I sort of forcefully escort him into the room with us?
What, you want to shove him into the room? Okay, you do that. Okay, what? Can I? It's rather.
Dimitri, why don't you have a seat? I feel like we have some things that potentially we need to discuss with you.
Okay. He looks at you and I think I'd prefer to stand. What is this about?
I think I prefer you to sit and just like shove him onto a seat.
Okay, make an intimidation roll using your strength.
Nice. Alright, that is a 18.
18? Yeah, he just... Oh, okay. Okay, what is this? Who are you?
That isn't any of your concern, but what is of our concern is the threat that is posed to our traveling companion.
What threat? What are you talking about?
You saw her, little girl. One that was with us.
Yes, and?
What what exactly is going on here?
What's going on here is you seem to have forcefully harassing me in my own town. And I don't, you come here and we give you hospitality and you decide to be rather rude, if I do say so myself.
I think my colleague is referring to the fact that the children of this town are somewhat absent, and we are aware that there are children of this town, and they are not with their families.
He kind of gives a glare across the room. It's like,
I just move myself in between the family that he's glaring at and him.
okay.
Yeah, I'll take up a stance on the opposite side as well.
Look,
You see, I have no particular interest in whatever shady dealings might be going on in this town, but if there is perhaps a threat to you, the populace, then perhaps we can be of service in remedying the situation.
there isn't
But for
anything
that,
you
we
can...
need your cooperation.
Look, there isn't anything you can do. The best thing you can do is move along and leave us alone.
Oh, that's quaint.
So you're complicit in all of this then? You are helping the people who are hurting children,
We're not helping
and
them.
as such you're going to accept the same punishment that they are about to meet.
We're not helping
what
them
you're
do
saying?
anything. Look, if we don't do as they say, that's when they hurt the children. But we're not.
Okay.
We're being held.
You
The town itself is being held hostage. If we do anything that we aren't meant to do, if there's any wind of us asking for help, calling for aid, not doing as we're told, not giving the tithes, then the children are hurt. As leader of the town, it's my responsibility to make sure we're all safe, including the children.
And have you had any proof that the children haven't already been hurt?
No.
Exactly.
But what would you
Why
have
don't
me
you
do? Risk them?
direction to go and look in. Otherwise, we'll end up making a mess going around town and possibly tip people off. But if we have a direction, we're a lot more likely to be successful.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh. 23.
Wow, nice. And look, give me a minute. There are guards outside. May I?
Oh, funny business.
No, it's not. Kind of rises and he opens the door. He's like, look, I guess resting for a while, but if you could have food prepared for when they are ready, and we will eat later on, thank you. I'm just going to organise what we can for other abodes, since there's quite a lot of them. They may not all be comfortable staying here. Thank you. He closes the door, watches them until they fully leave, and turns around. Look, we don't know where the children are. We don't even know what's being done with them. All we know is that any children that come to the town within the first night of their stay, they are either left to be taken or they are forcefully taken from the homes, and those that would not give them up are also killed.
Have these people been seen? What do they look like?
No one that's actually seen them has lived to tell about it. We hear noises at night, we hear voices, and then they come and they take them. At most, people have talked about seeing shadows of larger people or things, but there's nothing specific. Like I say, anybody that is outside after dark or resists giving them what they want don't live to speak of it.
How long has this been going on for?
For well, as long as I remember. No one in this town has been here more than a few months, to be honest. Like, as you can, people come and they visit, and then if they stay, they either move on or they stay, and their children are taken. They're forced to stay permanently, but no new residents have grown up here, so I've only been here 2 years, and it's been like this since I came here and since I took over from my predecessor.
It may be the case that we can help you. As much as I distrust you, given that you were unwilling to allow my companion to walk into potential harm.
Look, if we don't know how, but they can see when a child enters the town. We've tried to sneak children out before, and when we've done so, we've paid for it. We do as we're told to survive. That's how it's always worked.
How have you paid for it?
With lives, we've woken up to homes burned down and the corpses of those living in there still smoking in the wrecks.
When the children are taken away, who takes them?
We
Surely
don't.
the children don't just disappear all in the middle of the night.
No, the children are left in the middle of the town, and night comes. We hear things come. We hear the children crying, and then they're gone. Like I say, anybody that's tried to be out there at that time has been killed. We don't know what they are. Like I say, all we've heard is the name Polyphemus.
And this happens when the sun goes down or in the middle of the night?
As soon as it's dark enough that we can't see them.
Has anyone tried following them, finding them, tracking whoever's taken them?
Not while I've been in charge. Some did. My predecessor tried to arrange a scouting party to follow them back, but they never returned, so...
In which direction did they set off in?
They set off back through the valley.
It's been the valley we've just come through, presumably.
No, it runs through, so it's the other way.
A slightly unrelated question. The Furbolg caravan that comes into town occasionally, or comes by, do you know anything about it?
I've never heard of any furbolgs coming through, no.
Are there any regular caravans that come through the town?
There are.
Don't say.
There are occasionally, like I say, people do pass through. Otherwise, we would have possibly been found out long ago. We would have got aid a while ago, but we learned very quickly to let guards or let caravans without children to pass straight through, and they're left untroubled, but none the wiser. Look, it isn't something I wanted to do, but everything else we've tried has ended up in death.
So I'm thinking that we're going to allow everyone to stay in their houses tonight, while we go and wait out in the middle of the town, find out who's coming.
Form a little special welcoming committee.
Please,
Yes.
I ask you.
Why not?
Something
I ask
like
you,
that.
please, if they get wind that you may have been doing this for us, then they may hurt the children. Please don't. By all means, investigate if you must, but don't put us at risk.
Your
I'm
whole
still a
life
dog
is
at this
spent
point.
at risk.
It is. and
I mean, knowing he's now been talking to my comrades, and I'm obviously still a dog, can I not be a dog anymore?
You can just
Cool.
poof.
And
Oh wow. Hello.
hi. Guys, it might not necessarily be a good idea just to stand in the middle of the town, but I might have an idea. But I'll tell you later. When people...
How about we hear your idea now, because your last idea didn't go down so well.
Look, if you wish to discuss this without my presence, I need to be going anyway before I arouse any suspicion, so I'll go and prepare food for this evening. Please do not let anyone else in town know. what you have spoken about. I don't know who might be carrying word across. Like I say, they always seem to know when we try something.
And how do we know it's not you reporting back to them?
Well, you don't, but I warned you already.
Have you lost someone?
Yes. I lost my boy and his mother. She wouldn't let him go, so they made her.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's a harsh but firm way to learn how things work around here. I've spent the rest of my time here trying to make sure it happens to no one else. You can believe that or not.
And I think we can trust you.
Right, I'll take my leave. If you do need anything, please send RL or Lana and they will come find me or anyone else. And he attempts to leave if you let him.
Let him go.
Okay. He leaves and closes the door, and yeah, you don't really hear anything. He just walks off. You can watch him through the window if you like. He just goes.
I do not like that guy.
He's...
We might not like him, but he's a connection in the town, and he's lost someone, so I think we can trust him.
He's harsh, this Lana speaking, but he's kept us safe for as long as we've been here.
And how long has it been since you last saw your child?
6 months, when we arrived.
That's way too long.
It is.
So, safe is a very relative term.
We're alive, which is more than a lot of people can say. We try and stay
so what
alive
are we
long
going
enough
to do
that we
about
may
this?
see him again.
I'd like to hear Alma's plan before we agree to it.
I definitely want to hear Alma's plan.
It's gonna sound insane, but
There's
if
so
we
many
want
things you say too.
yeah, well, but
Also, how long have you been turning into a dog for?
Barking
that's
mad.
not important right now. The dog thing, not important right now. What's important is potentially in the, I think, 3 days that we have here until our caravan comes back, is to help the people if we can. And not make any promises that we can because we have a time limit. But you could use me as bait. I also have some stuff that I could lead or drop behind as a trail to give you a direction of where to go. But if they take children and kill anyone who tries to stop them, surely it's better to just let them take someone and then try and follow by morning.
I'm certain some children would have attempted to leave a trail already. It's probably safer if we try and deal with them when they're taking you. They're certainly not going to leave all the children completely unattended, so whatever forces are here aren't going to be there in their entirety.
That's fair, but I mean, if they take me, I leave a trail halfway, you wait a little while, hang back, and then follow, you won't put the town at risk from destruction. If a fight happens out in a field somewhere, then it's less likely to harm the town.
If we kill everyone in that initial party, there won't be any information going back for them to get injured. We can also then keep one alive and make it take us back.
Yes,
Just to
but
warn
again,
you,
don't do it in the town.
any children that were taken have never been seen again. I wouldn't recommend you putting your daughter, and she kind of just looks at all three of you.
Right, unwanted
I'd like
tag
to-
along.
If these people are my parents.
Oh.
Thank God.
Oh. Okay.
Additionally, you've mentioned us leaving in 3 days. If this isn't done in 3 days, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm going to stay here till it's fixed.
If everyone's happy to do so, then sure.
This kind of thing is not going to keep happening.
Just, we
Right,
appreciate everything you're offering to do, but if you left before nightfall, then you would be safe. They wouldn't come for you. If you're here after nightfall, then they will come for her.
I
We're not
think we
going
can
to
assume
sit
they're already
idly
going to come
by.
for her. No matter what happens, we have inadvertently put you in harm's way by being here.
Oh, thank you.
Are there any people in this town that are willing to fight? Anyone that is capable of fighting?
Honestly, no. Anyone that would have fought was either killed or broken a long time ago. We're farmers. That's what we are. We're good farmers. You can see that we have crops, multiple crops and livestock. That isn't heard of. We do well here, but we're not fighters.
What about the other side of the situation? Is there anybody in town who you definitely wouldn't trust, who you think might be more likely to be a hindrance or a threat?
I would say this. Dimitri, whilst he does his best for the town, sometimes that will mean that if handing you in is what he deems to be safer for the town, he will do it without a hesitation.
Which is exactly what I was thinking. I'm already here. It's already known that I'm here. You are walking with a child. You three, pointing at Mercy, Gavril, and Drunt, are the most at risk at the moment. And now we have put the family at risk, but we can't ask anyone in this town to fight. If we're going to fix it, we kind of have to fix it.
I say we ambush them on the way in. Let's not fight in the town centre. Let's do as Alma suggests and try and minimise the damage to the town, but let's not let her out of our sight.
If you be stealthy and you be careful, we should be able to do it.
You've seen Runt, right? You think stealthy is an option?
If I
Right.
wear some leaves on my head, I can pretend to be a tree.
Gavril, Mercy, be stealthy and keep Runt in check, then we should be able to do that.
Okay, let's wait till they're outside of the town. We'll attack them while they're trying to get out. Hopefully then you'll still be able to turn back into a dog, however you do that, and escape out from them, and then at least we know which direction they were taking you in. Even if they do run off, we know which way we're chasing them.
I'll somehow send a signal. Either it be barking or I'll try and leave a paint trail. I've got paint still.
No, don't go with them. You have to be escaping as we ambush them.
Oh, I can... Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll cross that small bridge when we get to it. For now, let's get part A of this plan first. I'd suggest for the rest of the day until nightfall, most of you make it look like you're blending into the city, and I'll stay inside, out of sight as best I can.
Somebody needs to stay with her.
I mean, they already know she's here. If
Scout
you're
I
purposely...
know she's here, but I don't trust them not to try and offer her up to whatever it is that's
No,
plaguing this
what
town.
I'm saying is, if you're trying to blend in, hiding the child will only tip people off that you've been told to do so.
Oh, good point. Right, Alma, go to the pub.
So, me and Alma will wander around town. If you two want to try and do some investigation subtly at the same time.
You're sending Mercy and Run to do investigating. Okay.
Okay.
Right, let's
How
do
about
it.
this? How about this? Smartness and for gentleness, Gavril, go with Mercy. Runt, you stay with me. You two are the more diplomatic, and I don't think anyone really wants to be pissed off by a Minotaur. Or piss off a Minotaur.
Why am I always on
Runt is a
babysitting
very good
duty?
deterrent.
Because you're a unit and I need a shield.
Fine.
Does that work for everyone?
Babysit.
That sounds good.
Sure.
Okay. In that case, once you leave, just for funsies, once you leave the house, can you either make me a deception check to try and poker face it, or an intimidation check if you're going to do the whole, you see nothing!
Who? Everybody.
Intimidation 6.
Everybody.
Deception or just deception?
Deception or intimidation?
Intimidation. Okay. Well, pretty obvious what I'm going to go for.
That'll be a 21.
What?
Can you tell me?
Intimidation.
I was going to say, tell me what you rolled as well.
Intimidation. It's run.
Nat 20.
Nice, nat 20. Okay, so what
I
did
got
you?
a 6.
Okay, what did you roll again? Run 21.
21.
Okay, and Mercy
I rolled intimidation 15.
15. Okay. So yeah, you do.
Nat 20 deception.
I rolled a 2 for intimidation.
Okay, well, thanks to
For everyone.
the nat 20, the over 20, and the 15, which wasn't bad, they kind of pick up your slack. You're doing really well with the typically socially awkward paladin with no poker face whatsoever. So everyone else is kind of like, Mercy's giving the classic Mercy side eye. Runt's basically just walking around, kind of with Alma is hit the whole time, so no one even dares to actually say anything. He's so intimidating, his camera can't look at him. I'm sure he'll come back. And yeah, Alma's kind of just playing the, innocent 13-year-old routine, kind of holding on to Birch whenever she can, and Birch is looking all excited about the town. And then you have Gavriel. Just
And then we have Gabriel.
kind of
Just.
putting on a smile.
Is he kind of doing that, like, through his
Naked,
teeth,
pretty
like,
naked.
everything's fine?
This is fine.
Nothing to see here, carry on.
But luckily, he's clearly a paladin or like something of a holy order, so people just assume that he doesn't get
know
the
how to
social
talk.
thing, which could be the case. So yeah, so what is everybody doing? Who is it that's going to go around and investigate? Are you going to talk to people? Or are you going to try and find signs of things? How do you want to do this?
I would like to go investigate the pickup spot.
The pickup spot. Okay, roll me... There's no such thing as a tracking check. Roll me a survival check.
Ow.
Okay then.
It'll make sense if you pass.
Alright then. No, that's a 6.
Okay, you don't actually know where they were picked up from. You know it was kind of the centre of the town, but when you start looking at the town, there's no real centre to it. It's like a mishmash thing of different farmlands and pens and like wheat fields and olive trees, and it's like, where's the centre meant to be? There's one bit.
Well, it's like they've actually given no thought to this place at
like
all.
there is one bit where there is a town well, and there is another bit where there is this huge kind of this huge tree that seems to be a lot bigger than like the olive trees. It looks like an olive tree, but a lot bigger, and it's kind of just in the middle of a dirt track almost. It doesn't seem to be anyway. So, and people seem to congregate around the well. So yeah, it's up to you.
Either or. I'm happy to look at both. We'll start with the well.
Okay. You go by
Because that's always suspicious.
Yeah, you go by the well. Make me an investigation check. It seems
Okay.
there's no one around there right now. Everyone still seems to be... The people you can see are working the fields or tending to like livestock. It's still like mid-afternoon time, so people are kind of still hard at work.
Okay. Yeah, not my greatest skill. It's only a 9.
9. Yeah, you look around the well, but you can't see anything that stands out. Like, there's no obvious signs that children are like tied to it or anything. There's no ropes. There's no like scuff marks or like there's heavy footprints, but there's heavy footprints because lots of traffic goes to this area. So yeah, there's not really anything you can see out of the ordinary here.
Oh well. Never mind. I'll just keep wandering around and just looking for just any particular signs.
Okay. While you're doing that, what does everybody else like to do?
Oh, quick question. Did Gavril give me my stuff back? Or did I kind of just lob it at him and he left it in the house?
He probably just let it fall. He didn't, because you didn't say catch or take this. You kind of just went.
Yeah,
Oh!
I just kind of threw it at him.
So
Fair
you could have
enough.
easily picked it
So
up
I
on
have
your
my
way.
stuff.
Just as a
That's
note, as Druid Wild Shape, they do mold to your form if you keep them on as well.
I didn't know that.
So you don't have to do the Hemlock Grove thing of stripping off every time you wild shape. They just kind of
I didn't think about clothes, but I didn't know about the bag, so I just kind of went.
yeah.
Listen,
Well,
I
rules as
kind
written,
of
it
want-
says they either mold to your form and disappear, or they stay on you if feasible.
Okay, fair enough.
So, for example, if you
then
turn
that
into a dog, you
excuses
might be
that.
able to have a pouch, but if you turn into a mouse or a rabbit, you probably wouldn't be dragging a satchel along with you. You know, but it's,
That's fine.
Yeah.
Safe.
Then I'm just gonna quickly just go, because I'm with Ron, I'm just gonna be like, as we're going out the house, I just want to say, can you wait outside for me for 2 minutes, because I just want to talk to the family real quick. I'm not going to sell anything.
As long as you don't sell any more of our shit.
I won't. I want to quickly just either both of them, or if the woman's on her own, just talk to the woman whose name I've completely forgotten.
Okay, the woman's name is Lana, and the male's name
Lana, thank you.
and the male's name is RL. RL seems to be getting ready to probably go to work himself. Like he's putting on his work gear and he's packing a bag and things. But Lana's still kind of sat nervously watching you all leave.
Okay, I'm going to go up to her then, and then just talk.
Can I help you, dear?
Yeah, I want to make a slight suggestion. And as much as it would be really, really hard, and it might be against rules or whatever, if you're already expecting another child, aren't you?
We are.
We have transport coming back for us in 3 days, which we might not necessarily get. But I'm gonna, if I have any paper or pencil on me or something that I can scroll a note on, basically scribble a note that says,
well, you've got paint.
These are our...
Yeah.
Cool, that'll do. Basically say these are our friends to Cyril, and leave it as a note and go, if in 3 days' time we haven't fixed anything, or for whatever reason something's gone wrong, I this note, we'll find the Thurgold family that we came to town with, and maybe continue on the trail that we were going towards Delphi, because then maybe you'll have a chance of raising this child. I know it's hard, and I know your husband might not agree, but it's an option.
She looks at you and she gives a sad smile and says, someone so young, you are wise, but understand we couldn't leave, not until we at least knew what happened to our son.
If you take this, I will make a promise to you that if I find anything, or any of my friends find anything, I'll find a way to tell you about it. But it's better that you think of your future child now rather than one that might be lost.
Honestly, we will never give up hope. He's not lost to us until... you can see she's tearing up, but until we see his lifeless form, he is still alive and there is still hope, and we would never abandon him.
It's not abandonment.
If you can save him, if you can bring him to us, then we will run. But we will never leave without him. I appreciate what you're doing, but...
I will find a way to either bring him to you or some sign of where he is or what's happened to him.
Thank you.
Did he have anything on him that was distinctive? Do you know?
He had a carved goat toy that RL made for him.
If I find that or him, I'll bring it to you.
Thank you. Are your parents still alive?
Yeah, they are.
And do they know where you are? Do they know what you are doing?
They might not know specifically where I am at the moment.
If
It's been a while.
I could return the advice from one that's experienced it, let them know you're safe. Keep talking to them. You have no idea how much it hurts to be away from your child, not knowing if they are safe, if they're well, what they're doing, if they miss you. Let them know when you can. A mother will always worry. And thank you. Stay with the group you're with. They seem strong. They seem to care about you. Don't underestimate the value of that.
I won't. Stay safe. And then I'll...
Okay. Okay, as you head out and rejoin Runt, Gavriel, what are you doing at this point?
So they keep mentioning this name that keeps coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to investigate in the area if there's any signs from looking around the buildings, how people behave, if there's somewhere that might look like a kind of religious meeting point, some kind of a cult or unorthodox form of worship, something that would be possibly kept secret or at least outside of the initial view walking through the town.
Okay, make me a perception check.
18.
18, yeah. You can't see, like, people meeting, like, necessarily something cultish, but you can see that whilst a lot of the town is taken up with either small buildings or pens or wheat fields, there is one path that leads off to a small, kind of man-made, rocky, almost a circle with an opening where there's several small, what look like shrines along them, which, as a paladin, you'd recognise is like a generic point to pray to whatever god you wish the aid from or you wish to hear from at that time.
Okay, is there any kind of unique identifier around the area? Any anything kind of carved or painted anywhere?
There's signs for most gods there. You recognise Poseidon's trident. There is a wine urn for Dionysus. It is itself set, and there's two kind of paths leading off to nowhere, but it leaves kind of a crossroads, which you assume is for Hecate. There's signs for most gods, like tribute almost, recognition to them in some way or another.
There's nothing that stands out as clearly being a thing, but not being identifiable with one of the gods.
Make a religion check for me.
Function. Sorry, religion?
Yeah.
Like tribute almost, recognition to them in some way or another.
12.
12. You don't spot anything. You see that, weirdly, Poseidon seems to be center. You would think that, in most shrines it kind of goes, Zeus, Hera, Hades, Poseidon on either side, things like that. Whereas in this case, it's Poseidon that seems to take center, which you would normally expect from coastal towns or villages. That's about it on that roll.
Okay. Probably me for a bit.
Okay. Mercy.
Hello. Oh, you want me to do something? Okay.
Yes, it's your turn. Because we have split the party again.
Well, I thought I was wandering around with Gav, but okay, he seems to have buggered off somewhere. Oh, lovely.
I seem to...
Fine. I will assume that there's like a road in and then like a single road out the opposite end, or is there multiple paths into the town?
Like I say, the town itself is in kind of like a wide valley. So whilst there are, like, leading in, there are paths to separate areas, and there seems to be leading out as well. They all kind of funnel into the town itself. So several paths lead onto the big path to the town, and then lead off in one big path, and then split off again. So yeah, it's almost kind of funneled.
I will roughly scout out the opposite end from which we sort of came in, and look for any sort of like possible vantage points. Just see if there's anything that stands out that might give us any like advantage to lay low in case we get a chance to see what comes in.
Okay. I would say make a perception check in this case.
The things I'm awesome at. 15.
15 is quite good. That's at level 2. Don't worry. Yeah, you see on the way in there are, a few places, like there's buildings that you could possibly hide behind. If you got further out to the side, like I say, it is in a valley, so there are rocky outcroppings where like goats and things seem to wander, and you could probably find somewhere on either side in that case to hide.
Okay. Alright, I'll try and make mental notes of where might be advantageous spots to lay low, and so we can eavesdrop. And then I'll head back and report my findings as best as I can.
Okay. Unless anybody else wants to, split the party even further, if you will say you meet up again, and feel free to kind of discuss the next plan of action.
What did everyone find?
Well, I found a big load of absolute shit. Well, no disrespect, but looking for things is not. There's potential places where the three of us could potentially lay low and eavesdrop and lay in wait, sort of thing. But unless we know a specific direction which we're coming from, it's hard to say, really.
We know the direction they're coming from. It's further down the valley.
Yeah, but the paths are converging, so we might end up. Well, I don't know.
Potentially, then 3 different viewpoints, close together enough that you can hear each other, but enough that you get 3 different views.
Potentially, but I don't know.
So, I think that when the townsfolk are talking about the things and the monsters, this isn't townsfolk thinking everything in the dark is a monster when it's actually humans. I think this most likely actually is some kind of creature out there.
I'm inclined to agree.
Do you think we can kill
The
it?
head of this group is Polyphemus. So, yeah, I'm assuming he's head honcho and he's got creatures that he sends out. Also, are we having this conversation in the middle of the street, or we've moved inside?
You're not inside anywhere,
inside.
but there doesn't seem to be anyone around. You've found a spot where you can sit and talk. I'm assuming you're not complete idiots.
Good, I just wanted to check, in case we were just in the middle of the street.
All I'm
Oh,
telling
too
you is,
many things.
I've got a megaphone out saying everyone's a bastard.
To be fair, your
Fair enough.
deception/intimidation checks
Covered that.
kind of decided if people would be lurking or not, and you did really well. So you've managed to find
Okay.
somewhere where people don't bother you.
Okay, cool. Just checking. Okay, so
well-
it's probably creatures. That's not wrong. So,
I would say as well, the people of this town seem to have a preference towards Poseidon. So,
That's odd.
it's very odd in this area, especially this far inland, but that might have something to do with a less common aspect of Poseidon. It might not just be about the water, and it might also be something to do with if there is monsters.
The monsters might be some kind of like land aquatic hybrid sort of thing.
Ew.
There's a lot of creatures that are in different ways for different reasons connected to Poseidon.
Intriguing.
It's possible that whatever this thing is, it's somehow connected to him.
Do you have any idea of what it might be then?
They vary. Usually not very pleasant, quite aggressive.
But
I don't
are they
know.
killable?
My ranger would be able to say more.
Can you kill them? That's all I care about.
I mean,
Pretty much everything has like a mortal coil. Everything can travel across the veil.
but we don't have a full description. No one's seen one, unless someone has seen one and just isn't saying anything. But it would probably be very unwise to wander around the town going, do you know what it looks like? If someone has seen it, it might have been very traumatic for them.
Honestly, without
Yes,
more
'cause that's what I'm
information,
worried
which I
about.
don't think we can get at the moment, our options to prepare for the unknown are a bit limited. We're probably best just setting up for every eventuality and then seeing what gets thrown at us.
Safer that way.
I kind of want to dig a big hole. Start laying some traps.
You mean like across a valley? Just dig a ditch?
In the middle of the town?
Pretty much, just right next to wherever the hell they're picking the children up from, just dig a big hole. Put some
If you're
stakes at the
gonna-
bottom.
They might.
If you're being serious, Runt, you don't want to build it in the middle of the town. You'll do it at either end of it as entrance and exit points.
Okay.
Right in the middle.
Let's not
Don't you
exhaust
building a
ourselves
great for
with a
yourself,
day's worth
yeah.
of digging before we have to fight something.
Yeah, also, we haven't got that long.
Or space.
Fine.
We haven't got
I
space.
guess I'll just sharpen my Sparta.
Part of me really wanted
go.
to see you
That
try
works.
that. Okay.
So what do we do? We go with Dimitri and not let on what we're doing?
Well, that's what he wants.
I don't care what we do, I just say we get a meal out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
get some
well-
more information off Dimitri and then we probably won't be changing our decisions, but
Just be careful we don't tell him what we're going to do. Because if he's the type that would either sell us out or try and stop us in some way, or, risk people in his own town for the safety of more, needs of the many outweigh the few kind of thing, then we need to be really careful.
I don't know, we actually figured out what the plan is.
Yeah, sort of.
We're
We'll
not
do it
using you as
after we
pigs.
You kind of are. At this
We'll come
point,
regardless. Not letting you
Do you
get
see
captured
it?
though.
let's
the
not worry
only-
about semantics. They're coming, we're going to kill them. But before
not
then,
in the town.
we play nice. We talk to the locals, see if they happen to have any more information that might change what we do.
What Gavril said.
Okay. Moving it forward, then you make your way to. It's quite. If there wasn't the looming presence of kidnapped children and possible death, it'd be quite nice. 'Cause it seems that every evening, it's quite a small town, so people get together, and they set kind of like a few small tables up, and they all kind of share food and talk, kind of discuss the working day, and they use the town itself. There's no big agora or big area like there is in Thebes or any big town. It's just literally out on the street, people around about the same time, just down tools, meet up, and those that have been cooking food meet those that have been working the fields, and they all get together and kind of. It seems like a bit of a family.
Cool.
Just
Are there actually no other children in the whole town?
none.
Cool. Good to know.
But they're nice
Make
and they're
the social
friendly and
mingling.
they welcome you. Does any of you want to discuss anything with the townsfolk or Dimitri or...
I'm gonna go and sit with I don't know the guy's name. I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
RL.
And Lana. I'm gonna go sit with them. Me and Birch are gonna go keep them company.
Okay, you do that.
I'm gonna go sit close to Dimitri so I can keep an eye on him.
Okay, he's there with what passes for guards. Again, they don't look... They're muscly enough. But the only thing that distinguishes them from farmhands is that they have a shield and a spear. And he's kind of sat with them just talking. Again, he's being nice and to the people he's talking to. They're laughing, sharing stories. There's no outward tension.
Still don't trust him. And I'll just sit relatively close so I can keep an eye on what he's doing. So if he to anything other than the manner in which he's addressing his other members of the community.
Okay. Feel free to roll insight check if you like.
That will be a nut one.
Yeah, it's fine. Like they say, it's lunchtime. Everyone's happy. There's food.
I bet.
Yeah, if you hadn't have had the conversation with him already, then you wouldn't be able to tell at all that this was anything but a hard-working farm town.
From where I'm sat, can I have a look around and see if there's anything mildly suspicious or anything that's happening?
Just in general, if anybody's being shifty or you...
Yeah.
Okay, make me an insight check.
Where is my insight? Ooh. That would be 6.
6. No, again, everyone seems happy. Everyone seems to be giving you a lot of attention. And, Birch gets lots of fuss. But everyone seems fine. On these terrible rolls that you are making.
Right. I'm going to try and have a sideboard with Mercy.
Okay.
Given that we know there is a slightly weird religious issue here, I still think there might be some kind of a cult element to what's happening. People helping whatever this creature is. Can you help me try and strike up some conversations to get them off guard about their religion? See if we can tease something out of them. Very casual and non-threatening.
I can possibly try. I'm usually not very good around gatherings in general, but I can certainly help you in whatever way I can, even if it's just to chirp in if you start the conversation, or do you mean you want us to wander around individually?
I think if we wander around together, having an open conversation with other people, just generally about religious practices and how there's all kinds of interesting things to learn about new
and see if anybody slips up.
Yeah, that's the one.
That sounds delightful.
Excellent. I think we've got a plan then.
Okay. So yeah, you two just like having a casual chat. Are you talking about anything in particular?
Well, we'll probably start up a conversation about the differences
about
Poseidon and Persephone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Just casual differences.
Okay. Yeah, people, they seem interested. They seem to listen. If you want to make me... You know what? If one of you would like to make a performance check, actually, with advantage, because the other one's helping.
Okay.
I'm assuming your charisma's better than mine, dude.
I hope so. Hasn't proved that way on dice roll so far.
Have advantage, dude.
That's 15.
15. Okay, yeah, people, they seem interested. They've got some actual holy clerics and paladins talking about their god. They give praise like every day to different gods, but it's not often that, they have someone there that's kind of an expert in the field, if you like. Some of them ask both of you actually to like give them blessings or pray to Poseidon or Persephone for them for different things. Like to Poseidon, they pray for like a good, a strong, strong soil as the Earth Maker, things like that. For Persephone, they pray for a good harvest, since she's the one of the nature goddesses. But they don't seem to favour any one of you particularly. They don't seem to show any, like I say, they don't seem to show more favourably to Poseidon.
I want to try and tease out of them how they show their reverence to the deities, how they, what their practices are when they're giving thanks.
You see, like, kind of a scrawny old guy who's come up to ask you this and talking to you. He's like, well, it depends on the god, I suppose. If it's Persephone, a lot of the time it's through sacrifice and offering up part of what we earn and what we harvest. It depends on the god itself.
Well, how about Poseidon and Persephone? How do you show your reverence to them specifically in your tasks when it's most important that they are revered?
Well, we thank them daily, as we do with all of them. Persephone, we would, the first of our harvest, the first ones to ripen or be ready, they are burned on a tripod to Persephone as offering to her, to show our thanks by giving her the first and the best crops. Poseidon, normally, when we will carry daily from the well to the shrine a heavy load of our water to kind of fertilise the soil at his shrine. Everyone has their own flavour, but that's the way I've always done it. It's the way I was taught it. Yeah.
You say at his shrine. Do you have multiple other shrines elsewhere? I did see the Poseidon shrine earlier.
No, it's just the one. We're not one for big fancy temples, because we worship all gods equally for different reasons. It's just the one, but we make sure that most of the water falls at his feet.
And it does seem like he has a central position within that. Normally, that would be Zeus rather than one of the other gods.
Yeah, well, I guess Poseidon's. It makes more sense with where we are. Zeus is king of the gods. Obviously, he's a great man, great god, great deity. But that's just the way things have always been.
Anything? Do you have earthquakes in the area, or?
No more than anywhere else.
Okay. But for some reason, sorry, I must be missing something. Some reason Poseidon seems to be more present in what's happening in this area.
No, he's one of the. We pray to all gods equally. It's just like I say. That's the way the shrine's always been. I'm not going to move it. That would be disrespectful.
Very well.
Curious.
So feeling nice. Feel free to make an insight check if you don't believe him. By the way.
Yeah, I do not believe this man.
Yeah, I was.
Do the insight, and I'll help.
What do you want me to roll with advantage?
I'd say
do you
roll
want
them
us both to make
separately
separate
this time. Yeah.
Roll separately.
Roll
Okay, that's
separately.
cool.
With something like the performance check, you're both working off each other, whereas this is kind of your own.
23.
Insight 19.
Yeah, you both. He's definitely hiding something. As soon as you kind of started to bring up the importance of Poseidon, he kind of seemed to be stammering for an excuse. On the 23, you kind of noticed that his eyes went not towards the shrine, but towards the exit of the town. Not where you came in, but leading out the other way. His eyes kind of almost subconsciously shifted to there and back again for a moment.
Okay. I mean, how can I put it delicately? I suppose every aspect of the pantheon fits within the grand scheme of things. Are you ever worried that maybe showing overt favoritism or lack of favoritism to things might, incur someone else's wrath, or
Well,
you know.
we don't want to incur any wrath. We're not showing favoritism. We worship all gods as equally as we can.
Oh well, at least that's something. But
I mean, as a cleric of Persephone, do you not worry that, Hades may, or people that follow Hades might, be insulted that you haven't chosen them? You can't.
oh, I'm not disputing that, but I'm just merely saying that, in certain areas, places that are sort of like aligned with no one truly specific. Are you ever worried that certain presences might be left unwanted, and then other things might want to feel included, or separate things, or people.
No, we thank the gods. We sacrifice to them. We adhere to all the festivals for all of them. We do our bit as proud Elysians.
But you're more scared of Poseidon right now, aren't you? Something.
His face
about
kind
his
of
domain
his face kind of
worries
turns a
me.
little bit at that. You've hit a nerve, and he's like, "It's not Poseidon himself
you
we're scared
should
of,
be
lad."
scared of Poseidon. It's definitely not a god you want to be on the wrong side of. Not that any of the gods are pleasant to be on the wrong side of, but
So true.
certainly Poseidon is very wrathful.
Look, I just came here to hear you talk about the god. I didn't come for any of this. I'm a religious man like anybody else, and I don't need any of this. Good day to you all. And he runs off. Well, not runs off, but he moves to the other end of the square.
Well, you're definitely not wrong, Avro.
I think we might need Runt to find someone a comfortable seat.
Do I hear this? Am I in earshot?
No, you're not. You're not really nearby. You're nearer Alma, keeping an eye on her.
I mean, we don't necessarily need him for that.
So how do
Are
you
you
want
spe-
to go about this?
are you specifically wanting what to give that same guy a comfortable seat?
Well, that one specifically definitely knows, but he's on guard. I'm quite happy to get information out of somebody in a nice or an unpleasant way, if you're comfortable with either of those options.
Do either
Do you know
me-
do you know nothing about me right now, Gavro? Come on.
I was going to say, do either me or Runt see a man scurry away from our companions awkwardly?
Not with the rolls you've been making. No, you've kind of been paying attention to the immediate area.
Okay. Darn.
I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what kind of line of to pursue. Because I mean, although I'm not particularly strong, I like to think I have a certain presence. Maybe between the two of us, we can, coerce a willing.
Yeah. Why don't you have a scan around,
All right.
try and think who you think would be a good target, and I will try and remember what I used to work on, and we'll see if we can get some information out of somebody.
All right. I will scan for somebody who is potentially pliant.
Jeez. Okay. You make an insight check then as you scan the room. Well, scan the table.
Yeah.
That would be an unnatural 20.
Okay. Yeah. Of the people that you know something, that guy that's left has talked to a couple of other people in the town that they're now giving you guys a shifty look, and they're obviously talking about you. Dimitri.
I'll just pass a wry smile. I'm not going to make eye contact. Smile
Okay.
as my head wanders around.
He kind of shut up. And they turn back around. Dimitri, you imagine may know something as the head of the town. other than that, everyone seems to be, apart from those that are talking to the guy you were talking to before, there doesn't seem to be anybody. There's in your immediate area, it seems a little more tense because you just had an argument with them, and you're strangers, and Gabriel's in full armor, and you've got a skull mace.
We're lovely.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Well, I mean, with the exception of Dimitri, I don't think I want to be put in the comfy chair anytime soon. I mean, there's a couple of people the older gentleman had a word with. I kind of spotted them, and they kind of like shut up rather quickly. So maybe one of those, or we take a shot at Dimitri, but we phrase it really, really delicately.
Which of the people... Is there somebody within the people who spoke to this frightened old man that we terrified, who looked more easily intimidated?
Not.
Nervous?
They all seem a little bit nervous about you, but like I say, the old man probably is the easiest target because he's an old man. The other two, they seem better built, in better shape. They obviously work for a living, but none of them. They seem more... not angry, but kind of, until you actually look at them, they're putting on a show of, disapproval, where it's you do know that the guy you spoke to seemed a bit jittery.
I mean, we can try the old man again, but maybe sort of like play a bit more softly, try and regain his trust a little bit.
Maybe we try somebody else. I don't want to victimise the old man.
Oh, look, the moral compass. There they
are. Let's just pick one of them and try and side with them.
Okay.
Okay. Well, they're sat together. They don't seem to be. So, are you going to just go and sit with the trio?
Oh, they're all together?
Yeah. Like
3 targets. Amazing.
All right, you go and...
all male?
Yeah, all male. Again, it seems to be like the laddie group of...
Let's head over. Just lean up on the lance. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Greetings.
Sorry. My name is Gabriel. This is my associate, Mercy. I'm here as a paladin of Poseidon, and I've had some somewhat disturbing news about Poseidon, that there are some issues in the area that might require realignment with regards to how Poseidon is currently heavily favoured in the area for as yet unclear reasons.
Oh.
And I want to check that everything's just above board. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want Poseidon to be praised? He's your god, isn't he?
I want all the gods to be praised.
And they are.
However, it is a little bizarre that in this area, with no excessive earthquake dangers and no kind of prominent water features, no abundance of horses, that Poseidon seems to be more revered than the other deities.
Poseidon's
I would very much appreciate it if someone would explain this.
Well, Poseidon's the Earth Shaker. He rules over the land as Zeus does the sky and Hades does beneath. Of course, look around us. What have we got an abundance of? Of course we're going to praise Poseidon. Maybe one of the reasons we don't have as many earthquakes is because we praise him.
Mercy.
Hmm?
Seems like there was something very unsettling about Poseidon, but I can't quite put my finger on why there was something in this area. What do you think on this?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't... I'm definitely no expert on your god. I would leave that to you, obviously. It's definitely hard to put a finger on. Let's put it this way. But there's been a definite sense of unease when we came through, and I don't know. There's just something unpleasant, for want of a better word. I mean, all of you are fantastic. I mean, we've had nothing but nice welcome from Dimitri and everything. But there's just something just oddly chilling about this place. I'm not quite sure whether it's an unbalancing of forces somehow, or something wrong with the karmic alignment of the deities. I'm not sure. I mean, there's just something unnerving to me. I mean, I can't really elaborate too much without, but it definitely feels something wrong to me, don't you?
Yes, I can't quite put my finger on an area, but I'm sure that there's something about this town and Poseidon that I would like some more information on.
Well, if you want more
And I
information,
think these gentlemen could help us.
well, if you need more information, I suggest you talk to Dimitri. We live here, we work here, we praise the gods like everyone else. If you have a problem with that, then maybe you've picked up the wrong kind of profession.
It's not that we don't want to talk to Dimitri. It's just that as the head of this town, he might have a certain bias, whereas we are more interested in understanding more what the actual populace of the town feel. It would be more of an accurate consensus if we actually had a more accurate feeling of what you as people feel towards this. Because, while there's nothing wrong with having an authoritative stance, which I'm sure Dimitri would provide, but he doesn't necessarily speak for you in a true sense. So, for us, as professional worshippers, for want of a better phrase, we would like a more personal view, something that we can actually see as a tangible.
Okay, make a persuasion check for me.
Okay.
Just a straight persuasion without the advantage on this one, because you guys have been pushing the same issue.
Yeah, that's fine.
Drop one from both of us.
No, just from Mercy.
That is another unnatural 20.
Okay. It's like, look, I don't actually know what you think our problem is. Every town has a favourite god or a god that the patron of. All we do is rearrange our shrines a little differently. Honestly, that's the way it's always been. That's where I don't know who put them like that. That was the way it was when I got here. That's the way it was when we all got here. That's the way that the shrine has been. None of us have moved it, because why would we? I don't know what else. I honestly don't know what else to tell you. There's no preference to other things. That's just the way things are done.
Okay. In that case, rather than pressing on that, how long has this town been standing, and how long have you been here?
I've been here about 5 years, and it's been here since I've been here.
Does anybody know how long this?
Again, I don't know. Again, Dimitri might know, but it's been here for as long as I have, or as long as any other town I know of. It's not a new settlement. It can't be, with how well its farmland is. This has had to be developed. It's. I'm sorry.
I completely understand. We're just trying to ascertain, just certain aspects that just don't sit well from an outsider's view. We're just trying to get a more accurate picture, and we don't want to upset you in any way. We just want to understand a little bit more about you and the people that worship here. That's all.
We live, we work, we worship, we do it again the next day. There's nothing else more to it. Anything else that you want to know, speak to Dimitri, but that's all I can give you on the matter, I'm afraid.
No, you've been very helpful. So thank you very much.
Okay, round a few more minutes of talking, maybe half an hour or so goes by, and the sun does start to kind of settle, and set slightly. As it does, the atmosphere kind of visibly changes in the town. Everybody packs up really quickly. They've still got smiles on their faces, but everything does kind of pack up really quickly. The tables are set away. Any remaining food is either taken back or a group takes some up to the shrine. And yeah, everyone seems... It's within maybe 10 minutes, you're the only ones left out on the streets.
Oh, was it something I said?
Yes.
Oh, shut up, you. I wasn't asking you.
Maybe we should try and find some kind of 8-foot-tall bush to put Runt in so that he's less conspicuous.
Is there
Well,
in the town that was
Exactly.
There's plenty of fields. You can get on all fours and pretend he's us, surely.
Okay, so Alma, sorry.
You did
I
not.
was going to say, did anyone in the town notice some sort of public hall or kind of slightly closed off area that isn't shut up at night that we can use kind of as base camp for the next couple of hours while we sort out our full plan and figure out where we're going to go?
Yeah, the only place that you know is with Arel and Lana. There is no... It's a farming town. There's no big meeting point that's built. If people need to meet, they would either meet where you did for food, or possibly by the well, or by that central tree. You're not sure, but...
Okay, so to look as non-suspicious as possible, either this is still either we can go ask Dimitri if he found a place for us to stay, or potentially we go back to Doral and Lana's house.
Well, Aurel and Lana's house was where you were going to were going to stay.
Dimitri said he's got us another place.
Yeah, he said that to the guards to get them to go away.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah.
So head back to their house then and politely ask if we could just hang out there while we make a plan. As long as it doesn't put them too far in danger.
Okay. Is that everybody doing that then?
Yeah, okay, why not?
reasonable.
Okay. You all head back. They're, like I say, they're expecting you. They have the fire going and they have like hot drinks there for you. They haven't set up beds or anything because they know that you're kind of heading out, and they both look very nervous, but they're not saying anything. They're kind of staying out of your way while you prepare.
Can I just quickly wander up to Lana? Just quick.
Yep,
moment.
sure.
My dear, how far along are you?
Maybe 2 months, a little more. Not far.
Ah, that's nice. Without obviously without making things 1,000 times worse than they already are. I just wanted to make sure that you were okay and that your baby is fine. I mean, although I am a very specific kind of cleric, I'm not unwise to means of life and death and birth and whatever. I've overseen a couple of midwifery duties and whatever. So if while we're here, if you need any help at all or whatever, please feel free to ask.
Thank you. Like I said, we do have physicians around. I'm healthy, thank you. We're just worried for things to come. It'll be when the baby's born that the trouble happens, I suppose, unless you can do something to help.
Well, it seems we've stumbled in here at that inopportune but opportune time to at least maybe see if there's anything we can do to at least alleviate some of the pressures of what's been going on.
Thank you. We pray to Hera daily for the safety and the well-being of of the little one. And we trust that she will look after us.
As you should.
Okay, at this point, whilst you're speaking, you kind of hear something outside, and then all of a sudden, these objects fly through the open window. And from them, you don't get much of a look at them. They seem to be like rocks or stones or something, and they seem to be kind of releasing this orangey green smoke. Can everybody make a Constitution save for me?
17.
17?
20 for me.
20, okay.
21.
21.
6.
6. Okay. As this happens, Mercy and Ron, Mercy, you see this, and you quickly cover your hands and mouth. You know from obviously being a cleric that just holding your breath won't work, but you kind of cover your face with a cloth and part of your hair.
I'm going to try and...
Yeah, Runt, you're, beefy, so you kind of just hold your breath, and you start to feel hazy, but you kind of just shake it off, and some of the green smoke kind of beefs out of your nostrils, and you're fine. Lana and Arel, they kind of, for a second, they drop. As do you, Gavrael. You kind of face plant straight away, and Alma, you kind of start to haze. You kind of see Birch kind of fall and whine unconscious, and then the last thing that you see as you fall is this big hulking shadow out the window, and then you fall unconscious as well. Before we move on to the next thing, we're going to take a break.
Oh.
No, right? Yeah, so we're going to have a 10-minute break, so our players can go to the toilet, get a drink, cigarette, regret their choices in life, all that jazz.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well done again to
Rest everything.
Lottie on winning the Dice Vault. I'm very jealous, but well done. Thank you to everybody that donated. £203 in 2 weeks.
Well done, guys.
It was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed throughout the episode as well. If you've got Amazon Prime and you haven't subscribed to anywhere this month, if you've got one spare to pick us, thank you very much.
Come join us. Join us.
Yeah, you have to resubscribe every month. Sadly, it doesn't auto do it for you. But if you did that, we'd be very much appreciated. On that note, we will see you back here in 10 minutes, where I'm guessing we might roll some initiative. Okay.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, yeah.
2, 1.
And we
Back.
are back. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's peed and happy and ready for what's going on. Just to catch people up.
Happy might be an overstatement.
Yeah, just to catch people up over the break. The group did some investigating during dinner with the town. Harassed an old man and his friends about why Poseidon was so important. Why is Poseidon so important? Hey, Gabriel? And then night came, the town very quickly dispersed. And when they went back to where they were staying, they had a brief conversation before these weird smoking rocks flew through the window, and 2 of the party and the dog were knocked unconscious. So, while I'm setting up your doom, would everyone like to roll initiative for me?
Especially.
20.
Okay, tell me in a minute.
12.
I've forgotten how to do initiative.
Boom, so we have Gabriel is in here unconscious. Initiative, you should have one that says initiative.
Oh, 2 crew.
Sorry, what?
It should be on your sheet somewhere.
Didn't catch that, Luke.
It should be on your sheet somewhere where it tells you.
It's usually between armor class and speed of your hit points.
So who do we have?
Oh, okay. So 10.
And here we are. Okay, for those of you that can see my screen, including the audience, you may have noticed some things and stuff.
Oh, disgusting.
So yeah, right. So yeah, you can't see anything at the minute, although you can see it on the screen, because it is getting dark, and 2 of you are unconscious. But Runt and Mercy, you can hear noises outside of the building. And let's do initiative. So, Gabriel, what did you get?
I got a 20.
20.
I'm fast asleep.
You are. Mercy.
My favourite number, 13.
Unlucky for them. Okay. Runt.
12, I think. Yep, 12.
12. Okay. And Alma.
10, I think.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not your HP, but you know what your HP is. So, Gabriel, you're to start. Do you want to make another Constitution save for me while you're asleep?
I'd like that. 16.
16. You come round. You get groggy. You got a pounding headache. You don't know if that's from whatever this smoke is or from your face hitting the ground. But yeah, you have a pounding headache, but you are prone. But you're around. That's your turn, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Okay. It is now this one's turn. So he moves. Okay. Mercy, Runt, and Gabriel, you see entering kind of arm first, because the door is quite small, something that enters into the building. It looks... Let's see if I can make it bigger for you. There we go. You can get a good look at it. It's this weird kind of half mutated... It looks almost like a giant, but maybe... But not giant size. Can anybody that's awake and has either Arcana or Nature want to make me a roll? If you're proficient in it.
Nope, I can't.
Nah.
No one. Okay, you have no
We
clue
don't
what
do
it
that
is.
stuff here.
Okay, that's fine. But
It's
yeah,
not friendly.
it is not friendly. Wait, make sure it's the right size. Okay, yep, he comes charging in. First one he sees is Mercy. So he is... Because you're by here. So he is going to throw an attack at you. He has this huge It looks like a farming tool, like a hoe or something like that. Leave the jokes, please, Dan. There it is.
As long as he's not calling me one. That's...
It doesn't say anything. He comes in not expecting. Doesn't seem like he's expecting anybody to be awake. So he just wildly swings at you with this weird weapon. It's caught off guard, and only rolls a 10.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Okay, so yeah, he's caught off guard. He expected you all to be asleep, from the looks of things, and he swings, and you manage to just quickly step out of the way, and he splinters the small table by the side, and it just you're gonna have to cover your eyes so the splinters don't get into your face.
I'll just use my shield.
But it goes wide. Yep. And it is now your go, Mercy.
Oh, how delightful! You've decided to underestimate us. How unfortunate you. Fine. Is he fully within melee with me then?
Yeah, he's in the doorway. He's kind of have to push his way through.
Oh, in which case I'm gonna just face palm and cast it.
Cast what there? Sorry.
Inflict wounds.
Ooh, nasty. Okay, it's a spell attack roll, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay, if you want to do that. Get some chat up in here so we can see what everyone thinks.
Oh dear, that's a natural 20.
Natural 20. Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that hits.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Right, so how do you want me to do this? Twice the number of dice or doubling one?
I'd say twice the number of dice, because probability-wise it's better for you.
So that would be 6d10. Uh, 37.
Jeez, that is a natural 20 and a half. Okay, you reach out and you grab a hold of this thing, and he turns to you. Looks like he's going to say something, and then fingers his arm first, and then all along the rest of him starts to shrivel up, almost like it's very quickly dehydrating. And kind of withers away. He gets on his knees. So he's now almost level with your hands. His hands look like he's going to go for your throat, but before that happens, he kind of fully shrivels up and just falls to the floor. So yeah, so he is essentially fooked. Let's just do this so you can tell. You have your movement left if you want to do anything else.
I would, because the map is a little bit vague. I want to sort of.
If you need me to explain anything, feel free to ask.
Yeah. Where's the open window? Just curious.
The open window is where Runt is, basically.
And is that on this bottom left bit?
Yeah, bottom left. Runt is here.
Okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Where would Arel and Lana be? Seeing as they've fallen.
They're over here on the two stools to the right of Gabriel. They were staying out of your way. This is Gabriel.
Okay. Well, what I might do is I'm gonna just take a position at the side of the door. Raise my shield for a bit of protection, and then just try and just keep that door protected as best as possible. I'm trying to keep an eye out for the window as well. Now,
the door where the thing just came through.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
because there's nowhere really to take any sort of.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
may as well just.
Yeah, you can easily kind of climb over the form of this thing because it's, like I say, it's shriveled up from your.
No,
spell.
I'll just casually step on it, but not be in the doorway, just at the side, just inside the.
Yeah, the door. Yeah, that's fine. You're kind of on the side of the doorway where you can creep out if you want to.
No. I want to just.
Like what? But you're in a point where you could creep out if you wanted to, but you're just at the side now, waiting.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm just poised, watching the entrance and the window. I want to just have a good vantage point on both areas.
That's fair enough. Runt, it is now your turn.
This smoking thingamabob, whatever it is, this gas bomb that got chucked in, is it still like smoking? Or...
No, it seems to have it's bubbling, and there's a slight smog kind of lifting off of it, but it's not like smoke grenade now. It's kind of just fizzled out.
All right, cool. In that case, is there enough space in that window for a Minotaur to fit through it?
You could force your way through. You might do some property damage, but
Screw it. Let's go out through the window.
okay. So that's about 5 feet of movement. Just I'd say 10 feet. 10 feet of movement to get out of there, because we'll call the window, difficult terrain. You see, as you walk out, you see a similar one of these creatures. And there we go. We'll make it a bit bigger for you. This one is holding a bow and arrow. It's a huge bow and arrow. It seems to be made out of an old... Do you know the farming tool that's used? You strap it as almost like a harness to a couple of oxes, and then they pull the...
A yoke.
They pull the...
yoke.
Yeah, they've taken that off, attached a rather thick bowstring to it, and are using that as a makeshift bow.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's quite clever.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go up to him with my Sparta and whack him.
Okay. 15, 20, 25. Yep, you can get there. Boom. Are you raging or?
Yeah, I'll rage.
Okay.
I'm pissed off at having shit thrown at me.
Yeah. Just as a note, that is the last time I'm going to remind you before a battle about raging.
Thank you.
The training wheels are off. Yeah, okay, so you use your bonus action. You kind of, as you see Alma on the floor, and you see this thing go for mercy, and, the splinters kind of, one of them cuts a little bit on your cheek. As you wipe off the blood and see the red, your pupils dilate. Your veins kind of ripple in your torso, and you just charge your way and kind of leap through the window, breaking off a good chunk of it as you do so, and land kind of superhero landing before using that momentum of being on crouched to spring yourself forward at this thing, drawing your sword as you do so and coming down in one big sweep. If you'd like to roll for an attack.
That'd be a nat 20.
Good. Oh, you guys. Okay, yeah. It was my
This might be
amazing.
the first battle we're going to win hands down.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, that momentum, you completely take it off guard. It's never seen. Wasn't expecting anything to come through the window, let alone that fast and that intimidating. So you catch it completely off guard and hit it right at its shoulder. Roll for damage.
1, 7. That'd be 18 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you sink the Sparta straight in, and it comes down. This thing is big. It makes you look small in comparison, but you sink the Sparta a good 2.5 feet into its shoulder, and it grabs the blade to try to push it out, but you just you use that fury and that momentum, and you keep pushing until it's on its knees. And then it doesn't even fall because you're holding it there. It just kind of slumps on its knees, kind of propped up by your Sparta embedded in its shoulder.
Is it dead or is it still alive?
It's pretty much dead. Its face has gone gaunt, and it's not moving. I take it that's you for the turn.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Next, the other creature seems to see this, or at least has line of sight to you, Runt, and what's just happened, and sees their companion just fall. So they are going to. You hear an almighty shout, and it is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 60, and it gets it charges a good 60 feet towards you. As it gets in line of sight, you turn around and you can see this one is female, and this is what this one looks like. Again, it's huge, and it seems to just be holding a huge sledgehammer of some sort, and is charging towards you at breakneck speed.
It's got a face like a well-used welder's bench.
Oh.
Just a
Oh,
little bit like my mum.
oh, guys. Um, Alma, your turn. If you actually, in that case, it is also gonna use its action to dash, and it is gonna. Yeah, this thing just charges towards you. Foam is at the corner of its mouth. It doesn't quite get close enough to you, but this thing is going for it. Alma, if you would like to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
So just words, just my constitution, I guess. Ooh.
Yeah, druids I don't think are proficient, so just add your Constitution modifier. What's that, sorry?
6.
6. Yeah, you're still unconscious. Probably because you're smaller stature than the rest of the party, so this thing's affected you more. And yeah, you're still lying unconscious. Gavriel, it's your turn. I take it you stand up?
I don't know. These guys have things under control. I'd probably just get an extra couple of minutes sleep. No, we'll. So I don't think I can actually make that. I'm just looking at the space of it.
Okay. Well, once you stand up, you use half your movement, so...
So what I can... Have I got enough movement to get into the doorway and preferably on the other side of the doorway?
10. You've got enough movement to get in line with Mercy, basically. I take it your speed is 15 feet?
If I've halved it, then yes.
Oh, half, yeah. So yeah, you can get basically here. You could use
yep,
your
we'll
action
do
to
that.
dash if you wanted to.
No, I want to use my action.
Okay,
just now, just
before
explain.
you do that, once you get to here, you look at the still form of this creature, and you can see it is still breathing slightly. It's kind of rasping breaths. But as you look at its withered form, it seems to start to change and shrink. And the bulges and the growths on it seem to shrink in. And this thing, while still looking withered and kind of like the skin looks very dry from the life force that's pulled out by Mercy's spell. But in about 5 seconds of watching this thing, it's gone from this huge withered body of this humongous beast to the small, prone, dying form of a young boy.
Okay.
Oh, I hate you.
So, in that case, I've still got an action left.
You have.
Will I be at full movement if I dash?
If you dash, you'll use your action and you'll be at full movement, yeah.
I'm trying to count the squares on the screen. I can't make it into range of that creature with a dash, can I?
Which creature? The one that's currently on the floor or the one that...
next to Runt.
The one next to Runt, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You could get into range of the female. Because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25... Actually, you'd be just out of range of the female, but you'd be in range with your weapon, but then you wouldn't have an action to attack.
Okay, well, we'll get there, and then if it moves, I don't have ready action ready, but I'll be there anyway.
If it moves, you can use your reaction to attack.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, so you move to about here. Again, you can see this thing. It doesn't notice you. It is still booking it for run, but you can get to about here. You do have a bonus action if you want.
I'm gonna save my. I can save my bonus action for the reaction, can't I?
You can ready an action. You can't ready a bonus action.
How does that work with reaction and divine smite?
I think you'd have to look at your abilities, but I'm pretty sure if you can only use divine smite in an attack action, so it wouldn't work with opportunity attacks.
Okay.
If you want to double check while we move on,
Yep.
and if you can do that, then we will if it moves. But just to keep things going, if you want to read that up while we move on.
Yep, will do.
Okay, Mercy, your turn. Again, you see the same thing as Gavriel walks past. You can see the form of this beast kind of turn into that of a withered young boy. And that's kind of, again, his breath is rasping and it's getting weaker as the seconds go by.
Right, is it my turn then? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm kind of annoyed at myself, but also, so I will spare the dying
Okay.
as my bonus action.
Yeah, you do so, and whilst this book still looks withered, and like malnutrition and dehydrated, mostly probably from your spell. The breath, whilst still kind of rasping, it's not fading anymore. It kind of goes to a regular rhythm, and its chest rises and falls in a regular movement. And whilst in no immediate danger, they're still definitely in a state.
I am going to yell out of the window, For God's sake, don't kill another one. It's a child. They're children. And I am, with my main action, I'm going to use my healing hands to heal this kid for 2 hit points.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Like it's not a lot, but the withered
That's all I've got
skin,
right now.
It's almost like you've watered like a very dry piece of earth or something, and it kind of the skin smooths out a little bit, and again the breathing becomes less raspy and more a deeper breath.
Yeah, I'm just gonna immediately just drop to try and tend to the kid.
Okay. Runt, as your sword is dug into this thing, and the blood starts to ooze out, again the form starts to shrink down and releases from your sword. As it does so, the arm itself starts to shrink with the body, but the arm with that falls off, lands on the floor, and both the arm and the body start to shrink down into that of another young boy with long hair. Again, you're not sure if they're dead or not, but they are bleeding out from where their arm used to be.
Right, well, obviously, I'm going to turn and face the one that's still charging me.
Yep.
And sort of let the words of mercy perforate through my Hage of Rays and just attempt to hamstring her rather than actually kill her.
Okay, so you move up to her. If you want to roll for an attack.
Does an 18 hit?
It does that, yep.
Cool.
Sorry, Hera.
Let's try and hamstring it.
Okay, roll for damage.
That is a 11.
11? Okay, you swipe at this thing's legs, and you take a good chunk of flesh out of its hamstring. It kind of goes to one knee, then looks up at you, and in a similar movement kind of pushes up with the other leg and goes to plunge this sledgehammer almost in a jerking movement straight at your nose.
As my bonus action, can I make an unarmed attack with my horn?
You can.
Cool. So that is a 17.
17 hits, yep.
And that is 6 points of damage.
Okay. As you do so, you kind of grab a hold of it with your hand, and then rather than use your horn, because you don't want to, kill this thing, you move your head back and you just nut her.
Yes!
Not a Glasgow kiss, it's a Spartan kiss.
It is a Spartan kiss. And she looks at you and kind of does do you know the cave troll from Lord of the Rings when it dies? Just kind of and then just falls on her back. Not dead, but unconscious.
Sweet.
And that is basically... actually, no, we're going to stay in initiative for now, for reasons. Alma, if you would like to make me another con save.
Oh, fucking finally. 17.
17, yes. With all the racket and Mercy shouting child, you kind of think, is she talking about me? And you kind of wake up. And as you do so, Birch also kind of wakes with a start as he feels your movement, and you look around, and you can see Mercy is kind of knelt beside this small, like, malnourished-looking child. Lana and Arden are unconscious on the ground. There's a big Minotaur-shaped hole in the window.
Awesome. We're in initiative mode, aren't we? So
Yep.
I only have technically 15 feet of movement.
You do, because you are currently prone.
Yeah. Fun. Right. So I can get to the same. Sorry, can I get within range of the kid that Mercy's with?
What is in melee range? 5, 10.
Close enough that I could touch him, yeah.
Yeah, you can just get there. 15 feet will get you there.
Cool.
And this thing's kind of shrunk down to this size now.
So he's really diddy. He looks like a child.
It is a child. It's definitely a child.
It is a child, sorry. Not looks like a child. It is a child.
It walks like a child, no longer talks like a child. Yeah.
I'm just going to double check something. Can I... on it.
Can you, what, say cure wounds?
Yeah.
Yep, you can totally do that. If you want to roll, take it this is at
D8.
level 1. Yeah, so D8 and add your wisdom modifier.
Where is my D8 gone? Yeah, that one. That and my wisdom. So 6.
Okay. Yeah, it's looking like as you kind of you kneel down beside Mercy and you pull on different sort of power, and these little motes of light, kind of dust motes in the air that kind of reflect light, then seem to emit light and draw to under your hand as you push them into the form of this child, and the dryness of the skin kind of lessens and loosens to the point where it no longer looks as if it's been touched by the spell, but it's still unconscious and breathing normally, but definitely not in as much danger as they were a few moments ago.
Awesome. I don't have the ability to do anything else, do I?
Not really, no.
Cool.
And Gabriel, it is your turn.
I'm going to dash over to the first one that run injured.
Okay.
And cure wounds on that. I'm going to try and position myself between the two.
Like this?
It's going to take a while for me to see what you've done, but if I'm stood between the two...
Well,
things
if
in
you look at
contact
the Discord screen, I've got screen share on, so you should be able to see it straight away.
Let's just say that's not working at the moment to move on.
Oh, okay.
I am going to heal the first one that was injured with cure wounds, though.
Okay.
Reattach the arm!
Preferably by putting the arm next to it and then healing specifically the arm area.
You put the arm next to it, and you, with your other hand, you draw on, and you kind of touch your hand to the four-pronged trident, which is, I guess, a fork, but at your chest, and your hand starts to glow with an eerie blue light, and as you put your hands on it, you want to roll a d8 and add your charisma, since you're a
9.
paladin. 9. 9?
That was the number 9, I wasn't saying no in German.
So this thing, the arm doesn't reattach, but the wound closes over and stops. It's no longer bleeding out, and it kind of closes over with, like, looks like a few weeks of healing of a normal amputated arm. It doesn't look neat. It was taken off with a Spartan greatsword, but it's no longer bleeding out, and the colour starts to come back to the form of the young boy. The arm is still a detached arm. And
Okay.
now that I'm no longer making death saves for children, now we will call it out of initiative.
Okay. Can you heal the second one as well?
One thing you will notice before you do that, this one is unconscious, but it's still
It
in its...
hasn't shrunk down.
No.
I whack it on the back of the head really hard, quickly.
No.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You do that, and it kind of... do you want to roll me a d4?
D4. No. That is a 2.
2. So what happens is, you do that, and it doesn't do any damage, but its eyes open. It looks around, and then grabs a hold of Gavriel's throat, who seems to be the nearest one, and begins to squeeze.
Oh, bollocks. Right, can I whack it with the flat of my Sparta?
You can...
See if
One
that does.
second. Gavriel, you take...
Dex?
You take 2 damage as this thing starts to choke you before Runt then hits it on the back of the head again, and its fingers go limp, and it goes unconscious and starts snoring again.
I thought it was a damage thing, okay?
Have we? So we physically got to.
Got to put them on death's door by the looks of it.
That is one
Oh,
way
good.
to do this. There might be other ways.
While they're discussing there, can I check the bodies of the 2 male people, the 2 male boys? Male boys? No, male children. There
Yeah,
we
I
go.
get what you mean.
To see if I can find any indication of who they might belong to, or if they have anything on them.
Yeah, if you want to make me 2 investigation checks.
2. That one. And so one is 13.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lettykins, for the 1,000 bits.
Wow.
Damn.
And for following.
One is 13 and one is a nat 20.
Okay, on the 13th, so you go up to the nearest one, which is the one that you were healing. You look around, it doesn't seem to be they have anything. Like, they have this huge, bloodied kind of garden hoe next to them, and they seem to just be in, like, what looks like animal skins on their bottom half that are now, like, more like a blanket than clothing. While they shrank down, their clothing didn't, and they seem to have been, like, oversized animal skins. You're a druid, so you kind of know animals, and yeah, this one kind of looks like a goat skin the size of a cow skin. So it's probably from the oversized animals in the town.
Yep.
On a natural 20 on the other one, you go and inspect the body, and you don't find anything. Like, again, it's wearing similar clothing, it's wrapped in animal skins and things. But whilst you're looking, what you do see is on its back, you can see what looks like a brand of some sort. And the brand looks like almost like a goat's eye. Do you know, like they have that? It's a big circular shape. Do you know how goats have that freaky as shit
With the-
rectangular pupil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it has that branded in between the shoulder blades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool. Just because I'm now outside, obviously one's inside, I'm going to ask one of these stronger 2 gents next to me to either help me or to carry the other child inside so it's out of the, the outside.
Okay.
I'll carry the child that Runt has butchered inside.
Jeez. Okay, yeah, you carry that child whilst Runt and
How was I to know?
Well,
Okay,
the-
like it was.
Runt and Mercy, are you still inside at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm still tending to the
Yep.
to the one I basically force choked to death.
Yep.
Shiitake mushrooms.
Mercy, can you do me a favour?
Depends on the favour, dear.
Just while you're near that boy, if you want to try and make him a little bit more comfortable and prop him up, but could you check behind his shoulder blades for me?
I can certainly endeavour to do that. We need to find a way back into a child without sending it to the ferryman. Fine. I'm going to try and pull the child into a nice comfortable corner as best as I can. Prop it up on some cushions or whatever, or near the fire or
Yeah, as you do
whatever,
so.
and then I'll.
Yeah, they don't even stir as you do so. Whatever this child's been through, includes
As
not
I
just
sort
what
of
you
settle
did.
it down, I'm just gonna whisper in its ear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't even stir. Like you, obviously you did some things to this kid, but it's clear that it's
You
had some
rephrase
previous.
that.
Like you put this child through some pain, but there's definitely past trauma and like old scars, as well.
Sure.
One of which, as you do inspect and move them, is again in the same place as a small brand that is an eye with the goat's pupil in there.
Can I possibly make a religion roll or something to see if I vaguely know anything about this?
Absolutely.
It's the almost one thing I'm good at. 16.
16. On a 16, you can't think of the brand, but it's like it jogs your memory. The picture of the eye, and all of a sudden you can remember. You know what the name Polyphemus is.
Okay.
You've heard that story. It's kind of a classic tale from the Odyssey, which is a thing which happened. It's more recent history in Elysium, but you know that when Odysseus, who basically pissed off Poseidon, ended up on an island where Polyphemus was originally living, and they stole cattle from it, and Polyphemus was this big cyclops that had cattle and giant cattle. And the way they escaped was they hid under the cattle and they blinded Polyphemus by driving a wooden stake through his eye. And it's only when you make the connection with the eye that you remember what Polyphemus was in the story. And you remember it was never said that he was killed. Only that he was blinded and they just got away. Or at least Odysseus just got away from the island.
Question. The thing that attacked me, did it have...
2.
Okay. I was just wondering if it was a... Yeah, okay.
One eye or two.
Okay. Right, that's basically my turnover then. Seeing as I've checked the body and moved it into...
Okay.
Do you relay said... No,
I'm not gonna shout. I'm not gonna shout it.
I'm not even going to ask, don't worry.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just Runt then. You are stuck outside with this snoring ogre woman thing.
Is anyone else out? Is Gabriel out there with me still?
I'm gonna ferry the child back in and put them somewhere comfortable.
Yeah, Gavriel's gone back inside with the other child, the one.
Come back out and check Ron hasn't committed any more atrocities.
Yeah.
I look at Gabriel and just go, like, well, what are we meant to do now? Like, we clearly have to do something. We can't leave this thing here to wake up.
Let's try and figure out how these kids were turned into whatever they were turned into. I'd rather not have to hurt them in order to put them back the way they should be.
Well, at least we know it works.
I want to try and examine the unconscious one and just check that it is unconscious.
Well,
Take any weapon away from it.
Yeah, you take the sledgehammer away. It's snoring, and it's not trying to choke you, so it's definitely unconscious. You don't know for how long, but he gave it a good conk on the head.
I try and bind it.
It's fine. Like, you look where you made the damage with the on its hamstring as well, and it's already start to kind of knit together and heal.
Maybe we should have left the other one with his arm off. I've healed all it, so.
Quick question. Is what's the moon like?
It's too cloudy to tell.
Bollocks. Okay, never mind.
This big round thing that comes out at night.
Hardy har har.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, I'm just going to sit and watch the unconscious one.
Okay.
Just in case it wakes up again.
Just standing guard there.
Is there any sign of the footprints that brought these three huge creatures towards the house? In which direction do they come from?
Make me a survival check. Run. Feel free to also make one while you're outside.
14.
Gladly. 15.
15. Okay. Gavrik, you're still you're distracted. You almost killed a child. So your head's not really. As a group.
Do any murder?
I know. As a group, you all went gung ho, and you were almost privy to. You're a paladin. You're meant to protect people.
Once again, I did nothing.
Well, you should pull your finger out then, shouldn't you, love?
I was asleep at the time.
Sleeping on the job. But
Yep.
yeah, Runt, you
Alright.
you do see some faint tracks, but more than that, you've got a whiff of these things now. And they smell bad. They smell of like old cheese and like animal like wet and sodden, like wet dog but wet goat, and things like that from what they're wearing, and sweat. And you can catch a whiff. You look out and you're pretty sure that you'd be able to follow that scent back somewhere.
Fair enough. It's nice to know that something out there smells worse than I do.
I never said that.
Alright, well, I'll wait till the others figure out what they're doing, and then we can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mercy,
Mm.
I don't suppose you know any kind of restorative magics that might, I don't know, work on
Not
a
yet.
body?
Not yet. Well, I only know simple basic stuff that I'm not quite powerful enough to actually reattach
So
body
I imagine
parts.
we can't exercise these creatures because whatever's done to
I mean,
them
they
seems
already
to
look in
be
good shape.
Exorcise.
In fairness, I very much doubt this is spectral.
It seems like it's something else.
It's some kind of or now that you're all sort of here and within earshot, I remember who Polyphemus is.
Go on.
Are you familiar with Odysseus?
Oh, yeah.
Just as a note, Gavriel, you are very familiar with Odysseus, and it quickly comes flooding back to you as well. Something that you will remember that the others don't know as well, being who you are, Polyphemus is one of Poseidon's bastard offspring.
Yeah.
Which probably goes to explain the religious situation of the town.
Yay! OC knowledge becomes IC knowledge.
Yes. The rest of you don't know that Poseidon sired him. All you know is that Odysseus met him. But being a
Okay.
paladin of Poseidon and your backstory, you know that it's actually a child of Poseidon.
Okay, we need to find out if this is some splinter that's come away from Polyphemus, or if Polyphemus is actually somewhere nearby. Because if he is
Well-
nearby,
Well,
needs-
didn't he
needs to be
technically
dead.
not die? Did he just not flee? So this is either so yeah, we're either looking at a child of Polyphemus or Polyphemus himself. trying to.
Or someone trying to curry favour with Polyphemus somehow. Yeah, if it's actually Polyphemus, then
We're in
more
trouble.
serious, but still needs to be very dead.
Well, at least the puzzle's slowly coming together, and at least now we know why the favouritism towards your patron is a bit clearer now.
Yeah.
I just wish I had the ability to give that child his arm back. That's so.
Let's focus on the child that
I'm
hasn't
sorry.
reverted to
Okay.
childhood.
No, hey, I'm just as sorry as you. He basically choked the life out of this child.
Yeah, but at least he has all his limbs attached, unlike mine.
I believe the child has her hand up.
Oh, it's more towards the DM. It's just why these guys are arguing about the fact an arm came off. I want to check on Oral and Lana, make sure they're all right.
Yeah, they've sort of come back around. They're very groggy. They're kind of like, when you come back from the dentist after having that done, and they're not really making actual words, but they don't seem to be like hurt really beyond whatever the gas did to them.
Cool. So they're kind of conscious but not really with it. I just want to sit like near them or stand near them just in case something goes a bit wrong, because obviously,
No problem.
Lana's going to be a bit more squishy.
While you're doing that, Runt, could you make a dexterity save for me?
Bollocks. Yeah, I can do.
That other thing's still around.
Yeah, no one's checked that yet.
An 18.
Ooh. Rolled a 19.
Bollocks.
So don't. What happens is, as you're kind of discussing what to do next, you feel almost a karmic thump, and you feel something hit the back of your head, and you kind of you fall forward and you take 6 damage. You're not raging because it's been enough time and you haven't taken any damage, so you take the full 6 damage and are knocked prone, as this female creature seems to have stood up, decked you in the back of the head, and then starts dashing at full sprint down the way. So,
Right, well, can I use an action to get back on my feet and get after her?
you can give it a go, but with your action to get up, costs you half your movement, so you'd only get to about here.
Also, aren't both of them in the house?
She's running away.
Alright, can I
Runt wasn't
let
in- Runt wasn't in the
everyone know
house.
what's going on? And then I'll try and do that.
Okay. You try and give chase, but due to abilities, you can keep almost chase with it, but it eventually does. It's got bigger legs than you, which not a lot of things can say, and it's full sprinting. And once you can see where it's going, you do eventually lose it.
Right, well, I head back to the house then.
Okay. Yeah, you head back to that, kind of rubbing the back of your head, trying, faking like cramp. It was totally cramp. That's why you couldn't catch up.
Definitely.
But you definitely know where it's going now, because you saw it.
Are those of us in the house aware that this thing has got up and run off?
Yeah, well, you heard Runt shout, you heard big bounding footsteps, and you kind of watched as this thing ran out, presumably the way they came, of the town, and legged it into the night.
You have to be a new car stupid not to be able to put 2 and 2 together there.
Okay, we have 2 choices. We need to pick one and act on it quickly, because one's time sensitive. Either we all go after them now, immediately throw ourselves into things we don't know about, and try and deal with this quickly before some potential backlash, or we stay, look after the children that are here, try and find out if they have any information, if they still have any memory of what's happened, that might help us cure the children that are at the other side.
My vote is to
Without
stay with the
hurting.
kids.
I also have a quick thought about the kids, and I'm definitely. Is there any way that I can determine if the brand is the source of this transformation?
Make me a religion or an arcana check.
Thank you. Mama, don't fail me now. Oh, 18!
18. Yeah, it looks like, rather than the source of this transformation, through kind of extending your other senses and feeling out with your divine power, you can kind of, rather than it being what's causing it, it's not like you break the brand and it'd break whatever's happened to them. It more looks like this is a consequence, or what started it. It's like almost this was the ignition, and that was set. This brand happened, and then this thing took hold. But you don't think it's holding it onto that anything past the initial affliction or curse or whatever it is that's happening.
Right.
Can I stick my head outside, like either the front door or the giant minotaur-shaped hole in the wall, and see if there's any way of tracking said creature? So if we did leave it at night, that some sort of trail the next day.
Well, you kind of all saw where it went.
And Runt's kind of got a smell for it now as well. So
yeah, so you're pretty sure you could follow it back to, as long as it's not too far away. You don't know how far these things travel back. But there's definite tracks, like when the female thing ran back, it wasn't trying to cover its tracks, it was trying to get out of there, so it's left some big footprints, and between the four of you, you could probably easily track this thing for a good few miles.
Okay, cool. Then I'm just gonna be like, yeah, we should probably stay here and make sure everyone here is okay.
Okay then.
Jason taking guard and just keeping watch.
I'm going to relay the information about the brand best.
Okay. Are you guys then basically...
You'll run.
Are you basically resting till morning, or...?
Well, we want to be able to. I want to be able to put children somewhere comfortable. I'm going to give up whatever bed, whatever, for at least one of the children.
Yeah.
I will give you my bedroll that I apparently have on me somewhere as like a bed.
Well, when Lana and Arel kind of actually come round and spot children, they kind of, what happened?
Mistakes were made.
It's beyond that. It's a long story. We have an immediate clue as to what might be going on. Don't be too alarmed.
You don't understand. You have to get them out of here. You have to get them all.
Where? Where can
It's okay.
No.
They came here as... They've both been branded. They've come... I think they came
No, you don't
as creatures, and now they've shrunk back. Obviously, we'll have to look after them, but they can't go back now, and I think the creatures, we've scared them off enough for tonight.
No, you don't understand. Whatever threw that rock in, that wasn't them. That was someone in the town. Someone in the town found out you were snooping around. Were you?
How do you know it was someone in the town?
Because I've seen it used before when we've deterred invaders and had to fight. They're mined from nearby. There's a quite.
Well, people will
Did you
answer
let on?
for that.
Did you let on to anyone that you were looking around? Were you not subtle?
Okay then, let's take the children away from here because they're not going to be safe here if some people in the town are targeting us. Let's take
Lana and Oral are not
with
going to be
us.
safe either, no offense guys, but we
We're not safe
subtle. Our
anywhere.
plan
There's
was
no
to take it
safety.
further away from the town. We were supposed to take them outside the town, but it happened much quicker.
Yep. Let's
You're
leave
about-
the town with the children, get a bit of rest and check that they are okay. But
Don't know about
we
you guys.
stay
I'm
here.
gonna go have words with Dimitri.
If you're going to take the children out of the town, I want to stay here with Laurel and Anna, make sure they're... Laurel and Anna?
If you
Laurel
stay
and Anna
here,
to
they
make
are
sure that
both
they're
in
fine.
danger.
Then one of us should
They are
stay
in
here.
danger around us.
Yeah, but they're in danger without us.
They'll
At
be a
least someone
target,
magic
they'll
can
be a
protect them.
I'll stay with the kids.
What do
I
we
feel
do?
kind of bad for taking what their arms off.
What do we do? Where do we? We can't leave. They still have. If you can get. How did you get the children back?
I'd rather not say.
But if you can get these children back, maybe you can. Maybe.
The children weren't this when they appeared. They were cursed. They didn't look anything like this.
But.
And we had to hurt them because we didn't realise they were children at the time.
What?
We have healed
Who's
them after
stammering at the minute? Is it Lana?
Yeah. Or else
can I take her by the hand and try and calm her down?
Yeah, you take her by the hand and she's just like, Lysander. What about Lysander?
He's not one of these two, is he?
She looks. No, that's not him. But if. No, I know them. I've seen them enter the town with their families.
So they're visitors, they're not locals.
Like I say, there are no local children. No children are born here.
Mercy, do you know if there's a way to get the brand off of them?
Not immediately. Nothing immediately springs to mind. The only thing I can only guess the brand is the catalyst to the curse. Whoever branded them is the initial source. So maybe by extinguishing the thing, we stand a chance of removing the curse altogether, or maybe we find the means to remove the brand. But I don't know what the trigger is to the brand, whether they are permanently transformed, or whether there is a trigger to the transformation after they've been branded. That's what we need to find out. I'm hoping that once the children are awake, we can at least try and get whatever information we can from them before we try and put a very large hole in a much smaller situation.
Then I agree with Gavril. You should get the two children that we have away from the town centre, and preferably like the opposite direction to where the child thing went.
Well,
Cursed.
We can tell. We could. If you could find their parents, they could leave with them.
And you know their parents. You recognise these children.
Yes, like I said, I recognise the children. They're Arsene and Harley's children.
Then
do they have any other
reunite.
children?
We will reunite the children with their parents, get the parents on the road, and get them out of here. But someone needs to stay with you two so you don't get hurt again, or potentially hurt more.
Whoever is near us is also a target. We can't stay with these people and endanger them.
No, we have to
They're
leave
in
you.
danger with us. They're in danger without us. I would rather they have some protection until morning.
No, we are the targets, not
Yes,
them.
I know.
I think you
attacking
can assume they're going to
too.
come for these two children as well. Now,
If we get them out of the town tonight, get them back to their families, and then we can make preparation.
If you can get them on the road tonight, do it.
Right.
I'll stay with these two. You three go with Lorna. Go find the parents of these two children. Bring them back here. They can grab the kids and get them out.
You hear kind of a big slam as RL's fist just hits the side table, and he turns around, and he hasn't said anything to this point. He's been completely still. He's been like, "No, you go, and you stop whatever's doing this. We will find their parents. We will get them out. We've lured children to this. Part of this is our fault. At the very least, we can make sure that at least these children are safe if Lysander is not. You four, you've already saved 2 more children than we thought ever would. If there's a chance that you can save the rest of them, you have to go do that."
Well, I grasp him by the arm, sort of take out the dagger that I took from the Garden Thieves and just place it into his hand and go, "Good luck to you," and then walk out the door.
Can I do the heal that I've tried to do on Runt twice now?
Do the what, sorry?
Can I do the heal I've tried to do on Runt twice now?
Yeah.
Hey!
Cool. Excellent, 10 hit points.
I'm assuming that means we're going. So I'm just going to turn to Lana and go, remember what I said. And I promise I'll try and find him or some remnant of him and then I'm going to follow Ron out the door.
Is it? So it's just Gabriel and Mercy. Like, Lana's kind of... She's still looking nervous, and she's kind of holding the hands of one of the children. And RL's just staring at you two, kind of grim determination in his face.
I'm going to put on my best face, stand to my full height. I'm sorry for what we had to do tonight, and I'm sorry for whatever undue pain we have further caused you. But I cannot promise, but I can certainly vow on my mistress. We will certainly do everything in our combined power to bring peace to this village, and bring back those that have been taken and hopefully not lost forever.
Thanks to you four, 2 children will be reunited with their parents. You've already done so much for us. I'm sorry we brought you all into this.
You just do good by those children, make sure them and their parents have the best chance they can. We'll do the best we can for your children and all the other children that have gone missing.
Thank you.
Don't worry about the rest of them. Your children are our priority, along with all the other children. Just make sure the ones that we have saved have a decent chance of making out of here.
Thank you. And he starts to pack a bag very quickly. And whilst Lana's kind of still looking after the children, he starts to make like a makeshift stretcher. And they very quickly start to go to work to kind of prepare and get out of there as soon as they can, kind of leaving you two to whatever you want to do.
We'll go catch up with the others. Well, unless there's something else you need to be doing at the moment, Mercy. See if we catch up.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Make sure that Alma doesn't fall into this either.
If I'm the last to leave, I'm just gonna look at Lana, and there is a very definite stream of tears, but there's no emotion, no words. There's just sorrow and determination.
She gives you the same sad smile that she gave to Alma, and there's with her there's tears streaming down her face, but she's not sobbing or anything. She's just they're just flowing, but she gives you that same smile. But you can see like thanks and determination in there. And she kind of gives you a nod as you leave.
And I'm gone.
Okay. As you all catch up to each other, I take Are you gonna follow the tracks of this thing?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yep.
If you will all, because you can all have a go at this, we'll make it a group thing. Relatively low DC thanks to events of things. If you make me a survival check. Alma, if you would also make me a nature check.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
We're 14.
Okay.
So my survival is unnatural.
Okay. And Mercy, what?
13 for me.
Okay. Okay. It was above. The average was above what you needed, despite Gabriel turning a bit around. But yeah, you guys are all. You're determined. This thing's easy to follow. You start very quickly and with purpose. Start to follow this thing. There's still. You can sense like people watching almost from inside their homes. You know, like a typical Western where they're kind of watching from the hatches. But no one comes to bother you. Those that have seen what went down are not going to mess with you guys, especially with the faces that you guys are wearing right now. Alma, what did you get for your nature check?
I only got 6.
6. Okay, as you walk past the centre of the town, You kind of feel like a warm kind of breeze, a familiar kind of breeze coming from a direction, but you can't really tell where it's coming from. But for a very brief second, all of the tension that you were feeling kind of is overcome by this familiar, wild but safe feeling, and then it goes away, and the tension comes back into your muscles. Okay, you guys, you trek for a good few miles. It doesn't take you long. Again, you are keeping stride. You are determined.
Quick question: how dark is it right now?
It is practically pitch black right now.
I'm guessing nobody can see but me.
No, it's like I say, it's quite a cloudy night. The moon is shining through and giving like the partly a kind of a very light silver glow, but there's nothing.
Alma, do you mind if I just touch your stick?
Okay.
I'm going to cast light on her staff.
Okay. I think what's that, 30 feet and then another 30 feet from there?
Vaguely, yes. One sec. Da. No, it's bright light 20 foot, dim light 20 foot.
Okay. So it quickens your pace. Basically, you're not having to watch where you put each footstep, and you still can't see a lot, and you have to work together to kind of every few hundred yards or so, you kind of all have to stop and search for where the tracks are again. So it's not.
I still smell her.
Yeah, you can still smell, but again, it's only when the wind's kind of coming from that direction. So, okay.
I have a weird suggestion.
Okay.
Quick question before I suggest it, before being really stupid. The Wand of Magic Detect doesn't require attunement, does it?
No.
Can I use it to see if there's any magic in the footsteps? Because I'm assuming it's not normal.
You can do that if you want.
Yes, please.
So you do that, and the end of the wand kind of lets out a faint white light. You kind of scan it around to see if anything kind of reflects that light. The footsteps are just footsteps. There's nothing inherently magical about the footsteps themselves. The thing that made them may have some form of magic on them, but you don't know. But from scanning the footsteps, they are just that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like I said, you guys head on your way. You'll get a certain point, and either one of you will find the tracks, or Runt will pick up the scent. And it takes you a while, but just as like the sun starts to rise and kind of got that red light, and kind of the light of Elma's staff kind of becomes a little unneeded. You come up to where the valley almost meets a point, and there's like an outcrop, this big outcropping, and it's almost like an even smaller gorge, with high walls now that you start walking along, and you can start to see the signs of something or some things kind of patrolling this area a lot more. Like there's much more heavily trodden steps. You can see carcasses occasionally from, again, oversized animals.
Friendly.
I draw my staff and press on.
Okay. Are you just stomping?
Sneaky.
I was going to say.
Okay. If you would all, are you all
kill
sneak?
the light if we can.
Shh.
Yeah.
Sorry?
We're all sneaky.
Can I use Favour of the Gods?
Yeah.
So I can reroll if this is shit.
Yeah. If you would all like to make stealth checks.
We'll see.
Not that great.
It's a 16.
Okay.
4.
Oh.
17.
14.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do the maths on that one.
Hey, get the abacus out because there's no calculators.
Don't forget to carry the one.
Oh, shush! Distracting me. Stop distracting the DM when he's trying to look smart. So what do we get?
Plus one is 2.
4, 17, 14, and What was the other one?
16.
So we had a 4...
4, 14, 16, 17.
4... Okay, yep. So yeah, you're walking along. You slow down your pace. You don't need the staff anymore for light, because, like I say, the sun is kind of slowly
I shall
starting to crest.
dismiss.
Yeah, and you're doing quite well. Like Gabriel, you've got bronze armor, but it's kind of leather underneath it, so it stops most of the plates from clanking together, because each panel has like padding underneath, and you get so far. But then Gavriel's foot kind of crunches on like an unstable animal bone of some sort, maybe a skull, and you stumble into the side of the rocks. Because, like I say, it's quite a narrow gorge, and quite a few rocks start to fall. You kind of all hold your breath for a second, but nothing seems to happen.
Maybe we should
Yes, I'll
scout
keep pressing on.
carefully, and then maybe find a place to lay low for a while, just in case. Maybe find somewhere to observe, see what movement there is. Before we go charging in, before we charge in blindly.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm in the mood to hit stuff.
Don't we all? But I'd at least like to see kind of numbers we're looking at, and I want to see if whatever's moving around is childlike first, and then becomes big and ugly and weird, or whether it's a.
All right, fine. We'll hide and observe.
Let's scout out for now, and see what we see,
Okay.
please.
Are all of you scouting, or...?
It'd be easier if we all did.
So are we just kind of on the flat of a gorge? Is
Yeah.
there any way that I could get a little bit higher on the edge? Is there any kind
It's
of
quite high.
stable-
It's like a good 80 feet up to the top of the gorge. There are...
Not top, like, is there any kind of bridges along it?
Yeah, there's ridges where, like maybe, again, mountain goats may have climbed their way up. You can make me an athletics check to try and climb if you'd like.
I mean, yeah, why not? It once.
You're not going up there alone.
-1, 18!
Okay. Did you say you're going with a run?
Yeah, we'll do. And that is athletics, was it?
Yep.
23.
Okay. Alma, you start to go up, and whilst you're not the strongest of the group, being quite small and agile means you can climb up onto places that, like, full-sized humanoids probably can't. And your hands can get into smaller ridges. So you start to climb quite well, and you get a good 30, 40 feet up. Run, you just do it with pure muscle. Yeah, just kind of, you lift your way up, slowly make your way up, and you two get about 40 feet up to the ridge. And so you can kind of look out. Again, there's not too much light. It's just starting to crest over, and you are in a gorge. But you can see just past your sight line from when you were in the middle of the gorge. You can see what looks like the ending of the valley, and possibly a cave or some sort of stone mound structure. And you can see small figures there. If you'd both like to make me a perception check while you're up there.
So good.
8.
8.
I've got a 6.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, gee.
You can see shapes, but you can't. Yeah, in the morning light, you can't really make out what the shapes are. They could just be animals. They could be more of those things you fought, but you can't. Yeah, you can't tell.
Look, Runt has astigmatism, okay? It's not his best situation.
Okay, I'm gonna, as gracefully as possible, slide my way back down, relay that to... See.
Okay. Yeah, you make way. You tell Gabriel and Mercy of what you see ahead.
Well, we can either go full tilt, or we can try and be smart about this. See if we can find
one
a.
of them did just come back here in a panic, so it must have got here before us. Did they look agitated? Was there a lot of movement going on?
There was
on-
some movement. I
Yeah,
can't tell if it was agitated or not, but I couldn't see the person we were pursuing, so my assumption is that they got back.
Yeah.
I think we're honestly safer kind of finding a nook and resting before we attempt getting any closer.
I wouldn't say no to a short rest. Or a long
Looks like
one.
somewhere nearby we can actually get all four of us well hidden.
You can make me a perception check if you'd like to find one.
Can I assist?
I'll do it as well.
Yeah, if you just roll it with advantage, as everybody helps you, Gabriel.
We roll? Oh.
Okay, cool.
No, just Gav.
15.
15. You can see, you look around and there's ledges similar to where Alma and Runt got up to. There's nowhere really hidden, but if you wanted to get off the ground, you could climb up similar to the way they did and maybe take shifts.
It's a start.
I think it might be worth us. If this is the main way in, there's probably going to be a lot of traffic through to come out and.
Maybe an elevated position might.
I think it might be better leaving the gorge, coming out a bit, and then finding somewhere, rather than being this close to them.
I would rather not be somewhere that's enclosed on two sides if we do get caught out.
At least having higher ground is
Very
helpful.
un-Spartan of you.
Thermopylae didn't end well for us, okay?
I would suggest higher ground just for, survival's sake. And as much as it's enclosed on two sides, it does mean there's only one entrance in and one exit out, so we know exactly where people would be coming from.
But it does
That
mean
is
all
true.
traffic is going directly past us.
Yeah, but if we're
they
up
are
above
going
the
to
ground
fall
and
over
keep
us.
them, we should be fine.
We may have an element of surprise.
There hasn't actually been anyone else tracking this way, has there? There hasn't been anyone come towards us or from behind us. We haven't heard anything, have we?
You haven't
No,
had a
but
peek.
this is an arterial route into what we can only assume is some kind of
Yeah.
settlement with a number of
But
people.
just by
So
law
they're
of
quite likely to use the arterial route frequently.
I'd rather
By
be out
law
of
of
the way.
averages, if they tend to go by night, it's just been night. And as much as they might be on high alert, they probably would be more on high alert to protect themselves.
Let's get somewhere out of the way. I would rather not be lying in the middle of a road when they come stampeding through, on the off chance they do.
So, option is keep going forward, find a bit more of an open plain, or up the wall.
Up the wall.
Oh, Pisco.
Mercy?
No. I'm happy to go with the status quo. But yes, higher ground is always preferable.
I'd rather back out and find somewhere not through their main course of traffic. If
Well,
you all
it's
want to climb up
3 to
onto
1,
the-
Gav.
If we're above them, hopefully we should be alright.
I mean, you could
Rob.
just...
I think that's a bad decision, but I'll go along with it.
Okay, as you say, as you're all kind of discussing what you're going to do, from further ahead in the gorge, you hear this almighty, echoing, angry roar of just fury and frustration that literally shakes the gorge itself, and rocks fall from either side. And we'll leave it there.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, you guys. I didn't want to jinx it, but we had a relatively hitch-free tech situation this episode as well, which was great.
True.
Woo! So yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Well, congratulations again, Lottie, for winning the amazing Dice Vault. I will message you after the stream and announce it on social media, and then I'll get that sent out to you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hopefully we'll see you all again in a couple of weeks to find out
how dead we are.
How dead you are, who had the best plan, if any of them would have let you survive. What's causing this thing? What made the screen? You know, lots of loose ends that we can bludgeon.
How many more children we're going to dismember?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that one up.
Good at the whole cliffhanger thing.
Yeah.
No murder children.
But on that bombshell, we'll end it there. Thank you guys again. We love you all. Even you.